Okay, so I don't know if you've noticed, but Jimmy Carr has been slithering his disgusting little body into any podcast he could get his hands on. He was on Rogan. We've got some clips from him on Mark Normand's show, and he's been trying to, out of nowhere. And I could tell this Jimmy Carr has probably been one of these guys who said to himself, I'm not doing these podcasts if it's the last thing I fucking do. I'm not stooping that low. And now here he is, right? The money's running out. He's watching everyone get chewed. It's almost, if you're a comedian and you're just one of these road comics and you're sitting by watching Tom Segura make $50 million and Bert Kreischer, the dumbest fucking guy you've ever laid your eyes on, make $30 million this year. As a Jimmy Carr guy, you're sitting there going, all right, I'm certainly better than Bert, better than Tom. And it's very hard to not try to, because look how easy it is.
He was also on Your Mom's House, and I just searched him to see what other podcasts he has been on recently, and it looks like he's uploading like his entire catalog of stand-up.
He's ready to go.
Like
he's ready.
He's uploading like 2 hour
that makes
specials
me sick.
Like every day.
Yep. So somebody told him, his manager, his agent. Now, the last thing Jimmy Carr wants to do is sit and talk with another comedian. He can't stand comedians, and he can't stand comedy. That's what I believe. He's a lone wolf. He's always been a solo guy doing this bullshit comedy, paying the bills. He did 250 theater shows last year. So he's sick. He's obsessed, and he wants to do it now. And you saw Sam Talent. You see these guys go, Shane Gillis, if I step on the gas, get on all these podcasts, how hard could it be? Because look at the losers that have millions and millions of fans. And in my mind, they suck. They're worse than me. So Jimmy Carr. Here he is on, whose show is this? This is
We Might Be Drunk.
We Might Be Drunk. Oh, God, wait till you see these boys. Mark Normand and Sam Morril. Ooh, do they hate podcasting? Boy, do they hate having to podcast. Trust me. This show is rough. I mean, look at this is the opening shot of their show. Here's Sam Morril. Look at that. Imagine seeing me like this on the show. And here's Mark. Dead tired from doing 60 podcasts a week and stand up at night every single night for no payoff. They've bought these booths that were really cheap, and now they're paying the consequence of them being too thin and too uncomfortable. You ever sat in a bad booth? Every day for me. So they're drinking their death water, and they decided they're going to have Jimmy Carr on. Because Jimmy Carr is doing the rounds.
He's on tour.
You ever see this where a comedian starts popping up on every podcast available to them? That should make you sick. Here he is on Mark Normand and Sam Morril show.
I feel like you're skipping over how scary he looks.
Oh, no, he looks really, really bad. I mean, this is what Anthony Cumia probably looked like.
I think I might even have had a dream about him. He's so scary.
Oh, he's
his
really
eyebrows
scary.
Look so bad with his new hair and thin frame.
Okay, listen to this. This is what Jimmy wants to do.
I talk about this a lot, but that idea of like comedy is going through something very special at the moment. We're so new. This is such a new thing.
You don't think it's going to burst? The boom we're in?
I don't think it started.
Ooh, I hope you're right.
I think Chris Rock is John the Baptist. I don't think Jesus is even here yet.
Nobody is watching. Chris Rock is a bumbling fool now. He was hit by Smith. Remember? I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to be so great to watch because you're going to see this comedy is going to be like, it's going to be as stale as Cumia playing cards with those 4 pedophiles in the basement. That's how stale comedy is about to become.
I think it's like a different way of speaking. So that comedy course thing of like teaching comedy, I think we should be teaching it in schools.
I think we should be teaching stand-up in schools. I mean, these guys want to pull kids out of schools because of drag queens. And you want to teach stand-up in school?
Far-right comedian Mark Normand.
Wow. Far-right comedian Mark Normand, by the way.
Every time you leave a comment or say anything about Mark Normand online from now on, call him far-right comedian.
Yes. Guys, try this with me. You guys want to play a fun little game for 3 weeks? Everybody, any chance you can get into Mark's comment thread and refer to him as far-right comedian Mark Nordmand. You are going to give this guy a mental breakdown. Far-right comedian Mark Nordmand. Thank you for reminding me. That's how we now refer to Mark Nordmand. So you want to teach comedy in schools. That's worse than the drag queens, IMO.
Course thing of like going teaching comedy. I think we should be teaching it in schools.
Don't give it away, though. You don't want these rubes doing it. This is all we have.
Think about what does comedy give like a young person? Like you're trying to find your voice. Right?
Sure.
That's what you do. Well, that's what the teenage years are about.
Point of view.
You're trying to find like the idea, like people saying, online, I don't feel comfortable in my own skin as a teenager. You go, yeah, that's what being a teenager is.
But isn't that part of their lifestyle? They have to learn that.
Yeah, but I'm saying comedy.
And I love when a guy starts doing podcasts and now he's going to reiterate all the takes we've heard on podcasts for the last 10 years because he wasn't paying attention.
Talked about this comedy school idea on every other podcast.
Every podcast he went on, he's shipping around. He's doing the same routine on each one of these podcasts as if he's visiting the Today Show and doing a press junket here and there.
That's hilarious.
My gag on Hitler was, not all bad. He did kill Hitler. I mean,
I love when these comics tell each other their bits.
Okay, should we just skip ahead to the end when they all critique each other's bits?
Sure, but I want to hear his bit one more time. This is his Hitler, as he calls it.
Not all bad. He did kill Hitler. I mean, you give credit where credit.
You got to think about that one. And then he continued, you got to give credit where credit's due. He did kill
And Mark
himself.
just overlaughs at everybody and gives such a generous laugh to every single joke because he's hoping maybe one day somebody will laugh at one of his corny bits, and they never do. They just stare at him straight face.
That's a really good joke. It's a really good joke. Is it? Is it really good? Or do you guys have writer's mind? Where you think just because you went from point A to point B that it's really good. That's a really strong joke. Is there anything more sickening than seeing comedians talk about how strong their material is? All right, what's our next code here?
They do a couple more Hitler jokes if you want.
Sure,
and then we could go.
Not all bad.
That's
he did kill Hitler.
Part about it.
I mean, you give credit where credit is due.
That's great.
If you'd killed Hitler, you'd never stop talking about it.
That's true.
It'd be your whole thing.
Okay, that's enough. Right. Mark can only fake laugh for so long, old man. Mark's looking at Sam like, hey, get me out of here. Well, what are you laughing at him? You have no business sitting next to this guy, Mark.
If you killed Hitler, you'd never stop talking about it.
That's true.
It'd be your whole thing.
Right.
Dana Gould is a great use of the Dana
This guy's
Gould
great,
about
huh?
Hitler, about how
look at this.
He was married for just a few minutes and then killed himself. Marriage is hard.
These are these guys' Hitler jokes, huh?
Wait, go play that last 5 seconds again.
Listen to this.
But I want to see him take a drink.
Oh, he's going to take a nice drink. He holds his cups like a crazy criminal. Really creepy watching him.
What is that mystery drink?
He's drinking some sort of weird seltzer water, that he's addicted to.
Dana Gould is a great use of the Dana Gould bit about Hitler, about how he was married for just a few minutes and then killed himself.
Ooh. We okay with this, boys? We okay with this chat? Hell no, we're not okay with this shit. Look at you, creep. Tell everyone Mike saw how you drank and it's over. This guy won't. He's going to sue. He will think that this was a hit piece on him. This was slander. They all think these guys, they haven't been paying attention. Then all of a sudden they hear all this horrible stuff. They can't believe it. They feel like they're actually being physically assaulted. He will try something. Look at this drink. Take a drink.
He was married for just a few minutes and then killed himself. Marriage is hard.
Keeps his eyes open. You're always supposed to close your eyes. It's like kissing. You don't take a drink with your eyes open unless you're very nervous.
Oh, his eyes just a dot? That's not right.
Is that how you kiss too, or do you have a lot of problems in that department?
His eyes just one line dot.
Imagine like being on a date with this guy.
A cartoon.
Yeah, is he married?
He said he has kids, so maybe.
He has kids. Does he have like a little Vietnamese wife or something? Who's his wife? I want to see who's... Because it doesn't seem like he is able to be very human in the bedroom, if you know. Seems like he might have some struggles with romance.
Just looks like a regular British woman. Like, imagine British woman.
Really? Interesting. Okay. Arranged marriage. Listen to this.
I've got a line in the new show about how
A line in the new show.
get more right wing as they get older. It's a good thing Hitler died when he did.
Do you hear this? Listen to this joke. You got to hear it. This is his big joke to me.
Right wing as they get older.
Wait.
Minutes and then killed himself. Marriage is hard.
I've got a line in the new show about how people get more right wing as they get older. It's a good thing Hitler died when he did.
Look at you guys. Is this ha ha ha?
Okay, you thought that was bad? Now look what they do. Go to 104.40.
104.40. This was really tough to watch.
So you're like, okay, you guys are just sharing your best jokes and fake laughing at them.
And I don't know why they would put themselves through this. Look what they do here.
They start doing that.
Watch this.
But it's just not related to what we're talking about here.
Burr and funny.
Yeah.
I pulled it up.
She basically says, "Are women funny?" And he's like, "Can you follow me? That's all you got to worry about. Start your own shit. Stop worrying about the industry. It's pretty great." All right, I got a bit here.
Go on.
All right, I got a bit here. Mark Nordmand needs to use his podcast to test out bits. Yeah. You always hear comedians say this. Podcasts are great because you could really test out bits and like build your material. Get on stage, you bum. And Mark Nordmand uses this so literally. Like he'll read a joke without any performance to it. And then he'll be like, what did you guys think? Let me know. Should I use that? And it's like, you can't come up with jokes this way.
And then they all wonder why their fans are all mad when their special comes out.
So he's pulled up this little piece of paper and he's so excited to run this by Carr. I can't imagine even discussing comedy with Carr. Sharing a laugh with a man like this. Let's see what Norman's got.
All right, it's a two-parter, so feel free to kick me in the balls here on either part. So my lady, she's a real tomcat in the sack.
Oh, this is bad.
And she likes being insulted in the bedroom.
What year is it?
Carr?
He's a real tomcat in the sack.
You know,
Oh, so you don't get... Okay, that's the only good part of Norman's act, but it's the only part of it that anybody even likes. And you're acting... So you're such... I love this. When a boomer hears somebody use an old term, not realizing that old term is being used to be funny. And they're like, what era is that? It's like, we're doing it on purpose to be cute. Look what he does here, because he calls her a tomcat.
On either part. So my lady, she's a real tomcat in the sack. And she likes being insulted in the bedroom.
What year is it? She's a real tomcat.
That's what boomers do to pretend that they're not old.
He's going to snap one day.
Well,
He's going to snap.
Yes, Mark Nordmand is going to snap. Can't take it.
He gets disrespected
On every show.
No,
It's the early 50s.
Yeah, she's a real...
No.
Milton Berle has a similar bit. Go on.
different dick. But so... She's feisty,
right,
in the boudoir.
Take a drink.
She's fun in the sheets, but she likes being insulted in the bedroom. But nobody told me that the insults are supposed to be sexy. So we're going at it. I'm like, you can't cook, and that hits. And then she's like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, you slut. And she's like, thank you. And I'm like, and that needs more, I think. But then I flip it and I go, I'm the opposite. I'm already too insecure. I like being complimented in the bedroom, but she's very full of shit with her compliments. She'll be like, oh, you're so huge.
Imagine workshopping this horse shit. This is what they're doing. You mean to tell me you spent more than 1 second on a joke like that? It's got to go through a process? It sucks.
Compliment in the bedroom,
Listen
but
to this.
she's very full of shit with her compliments. She'll be like, oh, you're so huge. And I'm so bad at dirty talk that I was like, so are you. And that hits. But it just feels like 2 one-liners back to back. There's no real point to it.
Workshop it.
So it's hitting, but it feels like there's no meat to it.
And they're supposed to have paid attention to what you were saying enough to give advice. I can't even imagine. I mean, Carr must be going, okay, now I really should have been paying attention to what the joke even was. It hits, he said. Was that part of the joke? Or he's saying the crowd likes this part? I'm confused. Let's see what happens.
2 quick lines.
Well, firstly, your girlfriend is dynamite in the sack. A real tomcat.
That's what you were thinking about the whole time.
I think it'd be it's on the insult, isn't it? So what's the insult?
It's on the
phrase you use?
insult,
What's
isn't it?
I say you can't cook.
No, but what's the phrase that gets you into it? So she likes dirty talk. She likes to
be insulted in the bedroom, but nobody tells you that the insults are supposed to be sexy. So you can't just insult her.
Throw the bit in the garbage. It sucks. I'll save you some time. You don't need to work on this one. Toss it away and, try a whole new approach.
You and your wife threw plates at each other.
Yeah, why don't you talk about how you just got married and you're already throwing plates and the marriage is not working out. Now, that's an interesting story. I could tell the story if you'd like, because that's what's about to happen, Mark.
Sexual.
She wants to be called a whore or a dirty girl.
Well, I think you got it the wrong way round. I think it's like you go, or maybe the whore and the dirty girl and bad girl, all that first.
Yeah.
And then you build up. And
Joke
you
World's
can't
taking
cook.
notes.
And you can't parallel park, and you
talk too much.
You do whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
You don't make enough money. I'm really carrying us. Yeah.
So you
keep going.
That should be the turn.
Yeah,
inside the writer's room, huh, guys?
It's cool to see.
It's inspiring to watch because it really makes you go, wow, there's a whole world of art out there that if you just tap into,
Okay, because it's already...
Because I think the dirty talk's quite funny of the, you're a bad girl. You're a bad girl feels like that could be the turn. You're a bad girl. I think.
Right.
Yeah, your personal hygiene's not great.
That's a funny line.
I think you need a different deodorant. It's like,
But you're saying do all that and then the can't cook.
Yeah, I think that it's the build.
Got it. Okay.
Because I think that's quite funny to hear.
This is going to work,
the
Mark.
dirty talk of what people say to each other in the bedroom is funny anyway.
Really funny.
Because out of context, it's just like, oh, that line of the whatever.
All right, I'll try it tonight.
But then what's the?
Okay, he's done.
What's the insult to you? You want?
She compliments me, but it's all lies. She'll be like, "You're so huge." She's trying to be nice while we're banging. And I'm so bad at dirty talk that I panicked and I said, "So are you," calling her fat.
Yeah, I think that kind of works.
That hits.
That hits.
It's a nice way out. It's a nice little button on the whole thing.
So it sounds like it hits then.
And it validates or justifies that I am actually horrible with the dirty talk.
Can you believe they think about it this deeply? There's a lot to think about there.
Okay, now do Sam's. 1,
She's
11,
coming up.
15.
1, 11, 15. Sam's going to do his bit now. And I just got to, bring awareness to this. This is what's happening out there, that it's being allowed.
They might be doing this every week.
This could be happening every week. And we're allowing this to be online. This should not be online.
Waiters had tattoos, and now every barista chick has a tattoo.
Oh, he broke out. Mark gave him a pointer, and he breaks out his phone pretending to write down Mark's advice. And look at these fingers. Look at these fingers! Really? Okay, let's hear this. Sam, it's your turn.
Last night I could try.
Please.
This is a new one.
This is a new one.
I used to date a girl who had night terrors, which was...
this is bad.
I mean, it's terrible. You get woken up with just... here's the first angle I had. You get woken up by just shrieking, So, and it sucks because you have to be like, oh man, this... I'm so sorry this happened to you, And she's like, it's really unhealthy to wake up that way. I'm like, I know, I'm also waking up that way.
Right.
So that was the first thing.
I think
that was his joke. Did you hear that? He said this out loud. He's working on this. Is a sticky one for him.
To wake up that way. I'm like, I know, I'm also waking up that way.
Right.
So that was the first thing.
I think I do a joke before that. No. So the gag would be, I used to date a girl.
Write this down.
That had night terrors.
Write this down.
She would wake up screaming. I guess she wasn't expecting to see me there. It was like you can kind of have that as a throwaway before you get to
funny, we all moaned.
I had one other thing.
Before you get to
That's good.
He had one other thing. One other thing.
Throw in a rape joke before you start. Might as well.
Oh, now that's edge.
Night terrors is funny.
Jimmy, wouldn't it be funny in that call me daddy joke if you were like quiet, you'll wake your mother rather than the family?
Shut up, nerd.
Oh, like you're fucking a kid.
Yeah, well, 'cause she's saying call me daddy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I dropped it because there was another
Sam
joke that
is
had
searching for
it was,
his joke.
Sometimes where you write two
Wait
things
till
that
you
are
hear what he
kind
is,
of
what he
Wait till you
is.
hear
in the
what he's-
same area. You go,
What you looking for, Sam?
Yeah.
Shut up.
By the way, I saw you at the cellar.
The line
Here,
I added
here.
on, I said,
Aoife.
Oh, thanks, man.
I added on, I said, I did go with night terrors. That's when you wake up screaming, which is, it's kind of weird. She's a white girl from the suburbs. She didn't serve in Nam.
Right.
That was the first part.
Okay. Can we fucking get rid of these guys? Seriously? Look at this fucking demented
Why did you have to
faggot.
look that up?
Look at this faggot. Did you hear what he said? It's not that long. I'll play it again.
On, I said, I did go with night terrors. That's when you wake up screaming, which is, it's kind of weird. She's a white girl from the suburbs. She didn't serve in Nam.
Right.
That was the first part. She would tell me wake up.
Pinkberry doesn't have a flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't do anymore. That's
Pinkberry.
painful. We were screaming at that screen. Screaming at the screen. Torture these guys legally.
The next thing, wait, I watched this, and then he goes, Lululemons were sold out.
Ooh, let's hear that part. Listen. They're
Should we tell me wake
riffing.
up?
Pinkberry doesn't have a flavor.
Yeah. What's
It's
she
gonna be the
worried
biggest
about?
one. She-
Yeah, like talking
the
to a
big
dog.
hat?
What's wrong, girl?
They're out of rosé.
Yeah. Lululemon's closed.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Patrice don't look too happy back here. So glad he's dead, by the way, and gone. He was the worst. If he were here now, he would be the worst. He would have let it all. He'd be the wokest guy.
Sam, actually, maybe Sam's joke is the funniest joke.
Look
I've
at Sam, and he's still
because I can't
sitting in his
stop.
own shit over here. Well, there's probably more to it that's really funny. Deep down in the pay-as-you-go phone that I have. It's
And
New York.
everybody acts like he's like the best. That's what's so crazy.
That's what's terrible about this. You would think, Mike, this is low-hanging fruit. It's not. These are the top comics of the U.S.
And at least Mark puts on his like stupid ass persona that he does. But like,
But what does Sam bring
what
to the
are
table?
you?
How could you be a fan of Sam Morril? All right, was there anything else to this?